What's going on, H-Town, Missouri City, NBA fans all over the world, whether you're in China, whether you're in Turkey, or right here. Thanks so much for watching. My name is David Delano, and this is Rockets Daily, brought to you guys by FanArch. Our goal here is simple: bring you the best Houston Rockets coverage that we possibly can each and every day. And I say we because can't do it without you guys. Appreciate every single subscriber, every single view, and every comment so far. Appreciate it. Keep those comments coming. Going to keep reading each and every comment, and we will incorporate some of those into the show. It's good to know what you guys are thinking with trades. I may be thinking something. You guys are thinking something completely different. The media is going to have, the national media, they're going to have their own narratives, their own stories. But it's nice to know what the people are thinking, what the real fans are thinking, because they sometimes they'll put things in boxes with just naming a few of the same names, but there's so many different guys out there that can play basketball and help this team. And really what we want to be talking about more than anything, the goal is to be here with you guys throughout the entire offseason, throughout next season, and talking about the parade this time next year, man. So hopefully a 2026 championship on the way. And this is just the beginning of great things to come. So thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and subscribe. That way you're notified every time there is a video dropped. NBA draft wrapped up. Rockets didn't have any, Rockets picks already committed to Phoenix. So not any players on the Rockets, draft picks for the Rockets. But going to keep an eye on the free agent signings. And I'm sure that this is drastically changing. But last I checked, as of early on Friday, Rockets had picked up Cameron Matthews from Mississippi State as an undrafted free agent. This is a guy we'll probably see in the summer league. I don't expect him to make the team. We'll just touch on him really briefly. Defensive guy, 7.1 points per game, 6.7 rebounds. But when you look at the NCAA tournament game for Mississippi State, he didn't attempt any field goals. He just had 2 points, played over 30 minutes. Had 10 rebounds, 5 assists. So he's really a guy that's willing to do the dirty work, but not someone that's going to be a real difference maker on the offensive end. Not someone that I expect to make the team. But, hey, shout out and welcome to Cameron Matthews, and we'll see what he does in Summer League. Another thing that kind of jumped out at me, the NBA draft, before looking at it, Eric Dixon, who led the country in scoring with Villanova, spent 5 years at Villanova, didn't get drafted at all, not even in the second round. He got signed to the Los Angeles Lakers. Could possibly add some value there, especially as a three-point shooter. Man, the guy is just a complete scoring machine. He's a winner. Questions on the defensive end, but just crazy the time that we're in now. The 5-year player at a Big East school, Villanova, leads the nation in scoring, doesn't even get drafted, but he did sign with the Lakers. And, as we're talking about the draft, one rumor that kind of popped up during the draft, especially after the first round, and I don't think that they'll probably go away anytime soon, are going to be the rumors talking about Cam Whitmore. And Shams with ESPN, he mentioned that the Rockets are possibly thinking about moving Cam Whitmore. There's been a lot of different speculation. Even seen some rumors about the Los Angeles Lakers possibly being interested in getting involved for Cam Whitmore for a future, in exchange for a future first-round pick or something of that matter. Really, at this point, definitely would hate to trade Cam to the Lakers. But where are we at right now with Cam Whitmore? He definitely had a very, very interesting season when you look at it, because he had some spots. There were some times, there were some flashes where Whitmore looked like he was going to really, really just go off and do some things. And, for example, as a rookie, he averaged 12.3 points per game, 9.4 last year. But there was a game early on in March. Cam had 27 points, 11 rebounds against the Thunder. I believe that was like a 137, 128 or 147, 139. Very, very high-scoring game. Cam balled offensively, but after seeing that, you're thinking, okay, maybe we're going to see some more minutes from Whitmore And after that, his minutes just kind of went down. He had another game this season, a tight, close game, 1 point win over Cleveland. He had a nice stretch there for about a month where, you see some signs from Cam. You think he's going to get some more minutes. But it seems like right when he would have those breakout games, get on a roll, we'd start to see his minutes decrease, which leads me to believe that at times, because he was zoning out defensively, has some of those lapses, sometimes the demeanor and attitude over his playing time, that is this Udoka's way of humbling Whitmore? And what are we going to see in this upcoming season now with Kevin Durant here? Because at the end of the day, Cam Whitmore's still only going to be 21 years old next season. There's a lot of offensive potential here. And there was a great comment the other day, and apologize, I'll shout out your name next time, but there was a great comment about Oklahoma City showing the model how to win, and the Rockets getting impatient with Kevin Durant, which only time will tell. That's the great thing about these conversations. That's the great thing about these debates, is we can all chime in. Some people may think that the Kevin Durant trade, a lot of people I think like the Kevin Durant trade, but there's a lot of people that don't. That think that we should have just stayed the course, even with Jalen Green and the number 10 pick this year. But what I love about it is, next year, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, we're gonna see the results, right? So there's so many of these debates, these hypothetical conversations you always see about errors, and if Kobe was in T-Mac's situation, if T-Mac was in Kobe's situation, there are things to talk about, but they're ultimately opinions that really can't be, no matter how strong you are on those opinions, they're opinions that can't really be proven one way or another. But as far as if Kevin Durant brings a championship to Houston, what Jalen Green does, what Dylan Brooks does, how this team meshes, if Kevin Durant stays healthy, how this chemistry is, all these things we will find out. And with Cam Whitmore, what I'm trying to get back to here, as we look at Cam Whitmore, is he someone that we want to stay the course with? When it comes to, when you really think about this, you think about 20 years old, right? When you think about attitude and defensive adjustments and zoning out and maturity, I don't want to say they're easy fixes, but they are definitely fixes. They're definitely fixes, right? A lot of how easy they are, it's going to depend on Cam. But man, I really want to see this kid do great things in Houston. And I don't want to see the Rockets trade him unless it's a deal that just knocks our socks off. I don't want to trade him to the Lakers. I don't think trading him within the Western Conference to a contender, you want to trade him to Utah or something for a package that knocks your socks off. But don't trade him to the Lakers. Don't trade him to the Spurs. Don't trade him to the Mavericks. None of that stuff. I don't want to see that. So where are you guys with Cam Whitmore going into next season? I feel like this is going to be almost a make or break season. And when you look at it, there's a couple team options coming up. So really under team friendly deals, Rockets really have another couple years to decide what to do with Cam Whitmore. Although I think this next year is going to be a big one. But I think that there's a chance that this trade, well, that's another good point to think about, is I would think that his trade value, if he gets minutes, can go up. But when you look at KD and when you look at the expectations, we talked about if he, averaged 12 points a game. We had talked about Tate's playing time diminishing as the team has improved. So if Cam Whitmore, 12 points a game as a rookie, 9 points a game as a sophomore, this third year, if it goes down to 7 points a game and less minutes, and maybe that 3-point shooting drops from 35 to 32, 33, that trade value may go down a little bit, because teams get impatient with a lot of these first round draft picks, as young as they are, fairly early. So is now the time to trade Cam, or do you want to ride it out and hope that his trade value or his contribution can increase? I'm personally still a buyer on Cam Whitmore. Like I said, there's always a price on everything, but unless it's just a hell of a deal, just something sensational. I really would like to see what Cam can do. Definitely, definitely. And we don't know, if there's any truth to those rumors, don't trade him to the Los Angeles Lakers. I definitely will say that. Another guy that came up in the comments yesterday was Malik Beasley. And Malik Beasley is very intriguing with the way that Fred VanVleet restructured, the way that the Rockets now have restructured that contract. It does look like the Rockets may be able to make it happen for Beasley. Obviously, he's going to have to want to come here. We're going to have to want him here. And when we look at Malik Beasley with the Detroit Pistons last year, Jaden Ivey got hurt. Malik Beasley stepped up. One thing I'll say, which is sometimes when I hear, and I know there's not rumors about Zion coming to Houston, but with guys like Zion and guys like Ben Simmons, Embiid, the most important stat to me is games played. Are you available? Not saying it's your fault, but ultimately, are you available? In Beasley, 82 games played last season. 82 games played. Known for his shooting. Over 39% from three for his career. Over 41% from three last season. He had a contract for $6 million for just that 1 year. Played for Bickerstaff with the Pistons. He definitely demands effort regardless of how you feel about Bickerstaff. This is definitely a guy that could help us out offensively, three-point shooting wise, being available in the playoffs. There's a lot of things to like about Beasley. Now, Beasley, though, there's going to be other suitors for him. I mean, the Pistons want to bring him back. Rumors that the Dallas Mavericks have some interest in him. Rumors that the Lakers have some interest in him. How teams make it work under the cap, we'll see. But I think that Beasley would be a nice fit in a few different ways, but there are some causes for concern. One, Beasley at 6'4", he's not a point guard. He doesn't generate assists. He's a scorer. He's not a huge guard. He's a shooting guard. And when you look at on the roster as far as that opening, filling in that Jalen Green space, how is it going to affect some of the other development of the young players on this team? And one of the weaknesses for Beasley, though, is his defending. Really, being able to defend one-on-one. The way that we play defense with a lot of different, with a lot of switches, I think that he's somebody that teams could exploit at times for defensive mismatches. I don't think that on the defensive end, not a huge fan of Beasley. And when we look at how defensively focused this team currently is, with Udoka, you put Beasley out there, VanVleet, a couple, you got a small backcourt there, and so Beasley definitely could add some value. I'd like him on the team for the right price, but those are some pros and cons with Beasley. Where are you guys at with Beasley? Like I said, he doesn't. Good thing is he doesn't turn the ball over, but he also doesn't create or get assists. So he's basically scoring. That's what he is. He's coming in scoring, trying to give you that. He's not Jamal Crawford, but when Jamal Crawford was playing, that type of boost. But definitely would be a good good option for the right price. So let me know what you guys think about Malik Beasley. Thanks so much for leaving that comment about Beasley there. And another thing we're going to talk about here, one thing with the NBA draft that's always interesting, as we look at so many of these guys, year after year, they get picked, and you kind of wonder what guys are going to develop into. And you wonder what guys are going to lead up to, and then after 2, 3, 4 years, these guys are still in their young 20s, and teams kind of forget about them. So what we're looking at here is Jake Laravia, and sorry if I butchered that. Sometimes it just comes out a little bit different. But Jake Laravia for the Memphis Grizzlies. We played for the Memphis Grizzlies last season for 47 games, 19 games with the Kings. He'll be 24 this year. But this is a guy, 6'4", 235 pounds, same size as the undrafted free agent that the Rockets just added. And this is a guy that really shoots tremendously well from a three-point range. Shot over 43% in his games with the Memphis Grizzlies last year. Shooting percentage dropped a little bit with Sacramento, but still nice. He plays he's a better defender than you think. And I don't know if I hate to say when people say better defender than you think. I mean, that's one of the scouting reports. You gotta wonder, is he better defender than you think just because he's a white guy? But hey, they've got all type of biases in these reports. But he's young. He went to Wake Forest. Played 3 years in college. He played for 2 years for Indiana State. Played for Wake Forest. California kid. Shoots the three at a tremendously high clip. I think that he will be a nice addition, a nice cheap addition on this Rockets team. So I like to see. I think that Jake's worth looking at. Now the thing about it though, what the issue could be there, we look at our 9-man rotation. Is he gonna crack that top man rotation, and does he want to be in Houston and be a 10th and 11th man? People could say, well, do we need more players? Would Jake fit? Well, he definitely would upgrade this team tremendously from three-point shooting. And when you're looking to win an NBA championship, I don't think that there's anything wrong with having too much depth, because we see it year after year throughout the NBA. Teams are stacked. Seem like they have so many different guys. Cleveland Cavaliers last year, right? Perfect example. Deep roster. You got 14 guys that look like they can play. And then all of a sudden you get to the playoffs. It's like injuries. Where's the help? So you don't want to be in that situation. I think that you can never have too much depth. And this is a guy that 2022 got picked 19th overall by the Minnesota Timberwolves. So this is a guy that just a few years ago, first round talent, first round draft pick, and now he's almost you had a nice season with Memphis. Now he's with Sacramento, where a lot of careers kind of the relevance dies, and he's not being talked about. But this is a guy that can definitely space the floor. You got that learning curve out the window. I think that he's somebody that would be nice to go ahead and bring to Houston. So let me know if there's any love for Jake there, for anybody who's watched him play. And keep the names, like I said, keep everything coming. Spencer Dinwiddie, comments on them. We'll definitely go ahead and we will get to him later on, probably in our next episode. But yeah, any other names? I saw some comments about Giannis possibly coming to the Rockets. We'll definitely we'll see how things do unfold, how things do unfold with that. So that's definitely going to be something else to go ahead and keep an eye on there. And one other thing here that I do want to go ahead and talk about, and I want to try to make this a little bit of a regular segment on this show, right? I want to go ahead and talk about some Houston Rockets history here, right? And as we're doing this is as we're doing this for the Houston Rockets history, what I do want to get into, there's a lot of people probably now, Houston Rockets fans, maybe some people, the way the NBA is, people are more fans of the players than they are the teams. And a lot of people may not really know the whole history of the Rockets. And honestly, I don't know how many people watching this. Shout out if you were here back, in 1967 season with the San Diego Rockets. But just a little history I want to throw out. I want to get through the whole history. There's other things to talk about. So many things that I want to talk about, some of this Houston Rockets history, and just really appreciate the players and the coaches that really came and set the tone to where this franchise is today. I know it says Cam at Whitmore at the bottom. If it does, we're on the history section now. I'll get that guy straightened out for you guys, but definitely appreciate you rocking with me. Real quick, just want to say the Rockets came into existence. There was a move. They wanted to get more teams on the West Coast. So before Houston, and we'll get to Houston, 1967, 1968 season, first year for the Rockets as the San Diego Rockets. The San Diego Rockets went 15-67 that season. Trivia question. Who was the first player ever drafted by the Rockets, by the San Diego Rockets in the 1967 draft? Who was it? Any guesses? I'll give you a second. 1967 draft. Who did the Rockets take? Pat Riley was the first pick for the Houston Rockets. 7th pick overall, but the first round pick ever drafted by the Rockets. And yes, that Pat Riley. Miami Heat, Los Angeles Lakers, Pat Riley. Rockets' first ever win came against the Seattle Supersonics, 121-114 in the third game of the season on the road. The first home win and the second win of the season also came against the Seattle Supersonics. So notable people drafted in that year with Pat Riley, number 1 pick that year, Jimmy Walker, Jalen Rose's biological father. You had Earl the Pearl Monroe, number 2 to the Baltimore Bullets, and Walt Frazier to the Knicks at number 5. Who led the Rockets in scoring that season? John Block, a 6'10 forward out of USC. He played his first season with the Lakers, only averaged 2.9 points per game and 2 rebounds, and came out and balled 20 points and 11 boards per game with the Rockets that first season. Hey, we need, and that's who we need this season. Who is going to be our John Block? Who's going to be our John Block in 2025 that comes out of nowhere and says, hey, don't forget about me. Don't forget about me. Thanks so much for watching, man. I'm working on a new platform here. We're growing fast. I definitely appreciate it. Appreciate everybody's patience, everybody's comments. Thanks so much for rocking with us. My name is David Delano. You can follow me on X at Get Sports Strong. Leave a comment. Make sure to subscribe. Thanks so much. God bless. Good luck. Everybody this weekend, whatever you're doing, be safe. Shout out to everybody in the Fort Bend Basketball Association, man. Little boy's gonna be making his debut there with the 7 through 9 divisions. So we'll see how that goes. If you see me, if you see me there, and it looks like it's me, it is me. Go ahead and say hello or whatnot. Love to meet all you guys. You know, if we ever cross paths, I'm in the city for real. So God bless and good luck.